Hello and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is June 10th, 2016. My name is Lynn Marquidant and I'm your host. Welcome! I'm so glad you're here. FiberCast is all about us getting together and doing something for 60 minutes, usually with fiber. And tonight I am finishing up projects. You can remember this, I think. If you've seen the Memorial Day broadcast, you saw that we made this Quilt Smart wall hanging. Everything is done, including I have the rod hanger here, halfway done. Everything's done except for the quilting on it. And so I pulled out my trusty Bernina. She was in her bag, and I have my BSR, my stitch regulator, and I am going to finish this puppy. If we have time, then I will get to my crocheted pot holder and my dolls. So welcome, I'm so glad you're with us tonight. Let's just jump right in. And I apologize for the background and that it isn't a pretty quilt. Bob is still working on the studio upstairs, and the band is downstairs, as you can probably hear. Okay. So I am just going to do an all, oh no, I only had black thread, so I guess I'm not going to do too much. I wanted white thread, but that's packed away. Okay. Oh, I have to put my feed dog down. Now what? And I don't have my gloves with me, which is classic. This working remotely, and you have to work with what you've got. Okay, let's just see if we can start right here in the middle, just for kicks. There we go. Fortunately, the black really shows, but you know what? It's okay. I'm going to switch it to... There we go. I wonder if I do have my gloves here. We may have to go right to crocheting. Here I got my table and everything from last time. I hope everyone out there has had a good week. I'd love to get your emails, and I want to share those right away, and this isn't going to work. Whee! Very free form, which maybe is okay for this. So, I don't have too much to update everyone on. It's just been another week of work. I didn't have to travel, although I have to go to Austin, Texas on Sunday. Okay, that's not going to work because I don't have the right tools. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off. And I think what I'm going to do is just, well, let's look at the back. It's sewing beautifully. That's the good news. Okay, I need a pair of scissors. 1 second. All right. This could be a lesson in not giving up. So maybe I won't give up. I will just try it again. The reason being that I've got everything set up. Let's just make it work. Okay. And the backing, the white here is so busy, so no matter how we quilt it, it's going to be fine. It's just not as much fun. Okay. Fortunately, I've basted it well. This is horrible. I'm going to get more thumbs down. It works okay when I pull it. Yeah, and it's looking fine. You know how when you spin wool, when you're first learning how to spin, your wool is woven at all different widths, and it gets kind of bubbly and bumpy? They say once you have been spinning for a long time, it's very hard to recreate that, kind of that innocent spinning look. So that's what I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend we're trying to get an innocent machine quilting look. Because this is really not the way to do it. If anyone out there wants to learn machine quilting, don't follow this. Go find Leah Day. And there are lots of good tutorials online. And Bernina's stitch regulator really is a good thing. The problem here is that I don't have gloves that have grippers on them, so I can't push my fabric through very easily. When you can push the fabric through, like I was just doing, you can create a nice rhythm. This is another reason why I really like my long arm friends. Kind of a convert. And I guess the other learning here is that you do need practice, because I guess I am getting more of the hang of it now as we're going. It's not quite as frustrating. And it sure is going fast. There we go. Look at that. Well, look at this, we are cruising. It's looking good on the back. be able to go on to our next project because this is working just fine. There's some proverb there about not giving up. Okay, I'm going to jump over here, I guess. Pull it on back. Now I've lost my mojo here. What the heck? All right, let's keep going. It's like the tension is changing or something. One thing I've decided since last week, thanks to Mark A., I'm going to bring olive oil into the shop. She made a good point. Even I've been reluctant to do it because I haven't wanted to be away from the machine. I've been worried about it taking too long to get repaired. But she made a good point. It's not getting repaired sitting there on the floor for months at a time. So if it sits at the repair shop, that's fine. And when it's done, it's done. I really made a big mistake. I just went at it with my screwdriver and I thought I could play with all of the settings. For anyone who might not know, my olive oil machine is one that I got at the Brimfield Fair last year. And it is an Ashland Sloan, which is, actually it's a Toyota built sewing machine from the 1950s, and it is sturdy. It's wonderful. Speaking of which, I have my mother's Toyota. Mom, I love your car. Love it. I miss the Toyota. Mom and I traded cars for a few weeks. We're going to be able to finish this puppy. Really, I couldn't do this wonky a job if I tried. I have a quick doll club tomorrow, and then Bob and I are going to a graduation party for 3 nieces and nephews. Can you see professional quilters ever doing this? For those of you out there watching, it must look like such a hack job. All right, there we go. Let's finish that off. There. The scissors are even dull. Okay. I don't know if you can see the back there. Probably not, but that's okay. That's intentional. What I'll do is, I have some little scissors. First off, let's see who's out there. As always, you can send me email to lmarquidant@gmail.com. This isn't a training show, clearly. That was pretty funny. If I do say so myself. Wendy, if you're out there, Hi. Anywho, it's not a training show, but it's just a way for us to get together every week and spur each other along. And it really is amazing what we get done on Friday nights because we have each other out there. Okay. Let's see. Ding. Okay. Where was there one here? Oh, after we hung up last week, remember we were talking about rivers and lakes and streams and the difference between them and creek? And I talked about something called, I didn't know how to pronounce it, it was spelled S-L-O-U-G-H. Well, Linda Huffman wrote to me and reminded me that the word is pronounced slough, S-L-O-O, slough. It's slightly larger than a creek, and Linda, so thank you, Linda, for letting me know that. She says, enjoy watching your show. She says she's currently working on The Farmer's Wife and another patchwork quilt for a family member. Aw, and she says, I watch your shows when I can't sleep on YouTube. Perfect. I say FiberCast, a.k.a. Sleeping Pill, which is better. Thank you for all you do to help us feel part of something important. Keep up the great work. Hi to KB and your mother and all the FiberCasters who watch. From Linda Huffman in Arkansas. Aw, thank you. Thank you for the slough. Carol. Carol sent a picture late last week that I don't think I showed. From, as you'll remember, Carol is from Yorkshire, England. And she said, I hope you and the FiberCasters have had a good week. She says, I'm working on some strip piecing for some scrappy trip around the world blocks patterned from Bonnie Hunter's website. She says, have you thought any more about the grab bag? Would love to see the different things that all FiberCasters could do with the same piece of fabric. Absolutely, and that's what we're going to do. And I know I said I would check it out this week. I have not gotten to it, but I will soon. Let me show everyone your, oh, I love it. Trip around the world is a very satisfying, fun thing to do. And I don't know if people can see that. If you can't, go check out and Google Trip Around the World pattern. Patty down in Texas. Oh, I just love this one. Since we're working on red, white, and blue, I'll show it again. This is Patty's table runner. She says, I'm quilting my English paper pacing star table runner, waiting for more rain. Ooh, in Texas you've gotten a lot. Family dinner was postponed due to rain and flash floods. She says it's good to be home. Okay. I hope I have gotten everyone in. Carol! Hi, Carol! She says, hello, Lynn and all FiberCast friends. She says she's heading off to Cam's graduation and will miss watching tonight. Happy sewing. Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations to you all. High school, that's a big accomplishment. And Cam is going on to great things at the university. Okay, let's see. Beth Allen down in South Carolina. Hi, how are you? She says, happy Friday, FiberCasters. My 1,000,000 half-square triangles are in timeout. Can they go together? Because this is about ready. She says, only because I have quilter's ADD. Oh, good. So they haven't misbehaved. It's you. She says, I'm repeating a quilt pattern for the first time, doing number 2 of Summer Skies, which I started in Missouri, but in Halloween colors. Can't start the Halloween projects too early. Isn't that the truth? You know, it's almost July. Then you just have August and September, and then you're there. You're in the month of October, and that's Halloween. So you're almost too late. Summer Skies. Well, I can't wait to see it. We'll be doing some lake swimming as we will be in the hundreds this weekend. Ooh, stay cool. And she says, happy stitching, everyone, from Beth. Norma. Hi, Norma. She says, I finally figured out how to send pictures through Gmail on my phone. Yay! That's going to give you so much more to be able to do. She says, I made for a block swap group. Hope you and everyone have a nice weekend. Okay, I'm going to tap to download it. This is exciting, Norma. Okay, it's downloading. Oh, I love these. Norma, I can't believe how far you haven't. Oh, I'm tongue-tied. It's not like you've been quilting for years, right? Those are beautiful. Are these the same ones that Marquet is making? They look it. And I should remember, Marquet has told me the name of them. Weathervane? Is that right? Angela, hi. She says, 1 UFO finished. Yeah. Oh! And that is a beautiful UFO. That is not going to do it justice. Oh, Angela, that is just magnificent. It's a scrappy Irish chain combined with a sunbonnet Sue. Okay, here we go. She says, hi, Lynn, I'm watching live tonight with my mom. Hi, Angela's mom. She says, I finally got my sunbonnet Sue finished. My mother is visiting me, so I've got it done in time for her to take it back to Ohio with her. I know you had said you were going to do that. Oh, isn't your mother lucky? And for Angela's mom, isn't Angela talented? Wow. That's lovely. And the applique around the edges, that is beautiful. Oh, that's great. Ding, says Maureen in Pennsylvania. Yes, that's Maureen, the one and only Maureen. You're winning, Maureen. Ding, one of the band's groupies here. Oh, I love it. Do you just wing the machine quilting, or did you practice first when starting out? Well, clearly I wung it here. No, I did practice, and the way I practiced was I took leftover pieces of batting, like that, and I had some muslin, and put muslin on the top and bottom. And then when it's littler, it's much more manageable. Definitely get yourself the gloves that have the sticky on them. That's what I'm missing tonight. Once you get that, then practice on that little piece, and you get the feel for how the machine moves, and what kind of thread to use, and whether if you have a stitch regulator, how to use it. If you don't need it. Just put your feed dogs down, and you can machine quilt with any machine, in theory. The stitch regulator is a wonderful tool for me, and but you can get as detailed as you want. And again, Leah Day is a very good resource. She does classes. And let's see, Karen Marinelli. Hey, she says TGIF. Speaking of machine quilting, because Karen Marinelli has a machine quilter that she would like everyone to know about, who has just done a fabulous job. So anyway, KB, hi. Maureen in PA, hi. KB in Pennsylvania says, happy to report I'm sticking the binding on the Big Star Charm quilt. Yay. And she says it came back in no time at all from Heirloom Quilts by Ellie. Oh, and KB sends a message to Maureen. Okay, so let me back up. Heirloom Quilts by Ellie is who did my sister's quilting, and she did a fabulous job in no time. Maureen, my sister KB, who also lives in Pennsylvania, says, about last week's question about the quilt show, she says, she's never been to the one in Hershey. She'd love to meet up with you there. So I will, if you're okay with it, or hopefully you can see each other online and connect directly. But if not, let me know if I can give her your contact information. I think you can see. It's Maureen in PA, and it's Karen Marinelli. I love that. Eileen Aroon. She says, happy Friday, everyone. I'm working on some Maine real estate with my rug tonight as I listen. Oh, I love to get these updates. As everyone remembers, this is it's opening up. Oh, this is the rug And Eileen was doing the people 2 weeks ago, and then she was doing the fireworks last week, and now she's doing the real estate in the middle, the land. Are they on Cadillac Mountain, looking down? Wow, you're amazing. I love your work. Thanks for tweeting. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Lorna! Hi, Lorna. She says, hi, Lynn. I don't know if you're like me. I find when I machine quilt, my mind will drift, and I want to hurry it along. Yep. Maybe that's why I have a lot of unfinished quilt tops. Yes. She says, I love your extension table. Can you tell us a little about it? Happy weekend, Lorna. Why, sure. I ordered this table from out in Idaho. And it is called a Sew Steady portable table from Dream World. So look up Dream World. It was made in the United States in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. And it literally is plexiglass. It's chipped a little bit, I have to say, right there, but it's good and sturdy. And it has fit nicely on my Bernina, like that. The feet are adjustable. These feet, so I can move them up and down to keep it even. I like it. It does have a ruler on it right here. And here's a website. Go to www.dreamworld-inc.com. And it's good. I'm glad I have it. I prefer the table that embeds the whole thing down like 5 inches because it feels a little bit high for me. But then again, maybe my chair is low. But that's what this is. And I'm glad you're out there, Lorna. And again, I hope everyone doesn't use this machine quilting that I just did as a representation of how to do your machine quilting. Let me pull out some of these strings while I'm talking. Oh. The tools make all the difference. In anything, in quilting, in cooking, tools and ingredients, right? You use flimsy fabric, you get a flimsy quilt that tears. You use cheap, you use old ingredients, you get a meal that doesn't taste as fresh. In construction, for example, my aunt and uncle are in the process of putting in a generator outside, and they had to lay a cable. And the cable had to be pretty deep, below the frost line, so it looked like about 4 feet down. Now, they could have done it with a shovel, and it would have taken forever. My cousin Ben came in with a bobcat and made light work of it, made a beautiful channel, all uniformly 4 feet down. And my Aunt Nancy was commenting, that's an example of finding the right tool for the job. What could have taken hours, and I'm sure many of you who have done construction projects can appreciate that. Anyway, the reason I got on that was I did not have all the right tools for this little project tonight. But that's okay. Ding! Some nights are like this. Annie Barnes in Milford, congratulations to your daughter graduating. I hope your party goes well on Sunday. I'll be flying to Austin. My bus comes and picks me up at 2:15. With any luck, they're going to call me. They usually do. And they say, well, instead of 2:15, it'll be 2:50. And I'm always thankful for the half hour more sleep. But it's my own choosing. I like to go early and get through the TSA line and then sleep on the plane. And then I get there and I have time to check out the city, or I have time to go find my hotel. Oftentimes they'll let you check in early. And I'm going down there. I don't know if I told everyone. I'm going down there for a conference that we're hosting, not hosting, we're sponsoring. And it's the first time I've ever been to this conference. It's called the Smart Cities Innovation Conference. So it's going to be all about self-driving cars and the city of the future, where everything has a built-in chip and computer. It's going to be fun. I hope, anyway. I watched 7 mayors from across the country present to the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation, Anthony Fox, this week. How cool is that, that in our world that we can watch that live? They all got together and presented their final proposal for what the U.S. Department of Transportation is calling the Smart Cities Challenge. They have $40 million that they are going to award to a city to use to build in smarts. And it's underwritten by several companies, including AT&T, and as I say, there are many, I want to say 73 cities submitted a proposal, and they're down to 7 finalists. So that was really interesting to hear the types of things they're doing, from smart parking meters to all sorts of really creative things around transportation, around rerouting traffic and lights. And I'm making some progress here. So, what else is going on? Oh, I got my AARP bulletin today. Oh, who's that? Let me see who's out there before I keep going. Ah, hey, Carol. Speaking of scrappy trip, Carol writes again. She says, hope you and all the FiberCasters have had a good week. She says, I've just finished a couple of the scrappy trip panels. And I'm hoping that by next week I will be able to show you the completed project. Oh, Carol, I love what you're doing. Look at your scrappy greens. My mother would love those colors. Can everyone see that? Oh, I really like that. Nice. You're up late. I'm glad you're up. That's beautiful. Have a great weekend. Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. She says, hi to all, packing to sew with a friend. Awesome. Have fun. Are you going for the weekend? Oh, and Marquet. Hi, Marquet. She says, hello, Lynn and the gang. So glad you're at home and having fun tonight with your Bernina. What, may I ask, did you decide to do with olive oil? I am bringing her, I have not done it yet, to Kathy Racine over in the Charleston Sewing Center. So thank you. I needed that impetus to get it out of what's now the attic. Because as everyone knows, Bob is putting flooring in the studio upstairs. I can't wait to show you. He's literally laying the boards for the radiant heat that have all the tubes in it. So, and I hear him screwing all the boards in. It's a lot of work. So that's what I did with olive oil. Thanks for talking me through that. She says, did you think to ask the band if they can play Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress? So, you're going to laugh. I thought to ask them to play a song. I knew it had black and woman in it. I couldn't remember the name of the song. I went and tried to look for your previous note, and I'm so glad you wrote me again. I have not yet, but I will. She says, I would love to hear it. Love the Memorial Day quilt. Been cutting up shirts here this evening. Got 8 done so far. Way to go. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Oh, Marquet, this is great. Look at the fabric you can get from shirts. Oh, and they look like they're brand new shirts. That fabric looks good quality. Love it. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Bob, and hopefully he has his phone downstairs. Long, cool woman in a black dress. Okay, ready? It's on speakerphone. They're not going to stop playing. Hopefully you like this song, Marquet. I will ask them. I can't even remember the name of the song.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, honey. We have a song request here. The FiberCasters would like you to play Long Black Woman in a Long Dress. That's not quite right. Hang on. I'm going to look it up. Marquet, don't laugh at me. Okay, long, cool woman in a black dress. Did you get that? Long, cool woman in a black dress. Thanks. Bye, babe. He might not get it till tomorrow, but that means they can work on it over the week and hopefully play it for us next week. All right. So let me finish this up, and then I'm going to pull out, I guess, the crochet. I have one more round to do on that. Sometimes you just have to finish things. It's not the most fun part of the project, is it? All right now. There. Hi to Jean and Chris if you're out there. Happy weekend. Been so busy, we haven't gotten together. I feel like we need another quilt retreat. Okay, it's getting there. I'll do the hand sewing in front of the TV tonight. I'll just put that down. There. What other tips about machine quilting can we talk about? It's certainly, machine quilting has come a long way in the last 20 years. Just like in the 70s, patchwork quilting had the resurgence, right, with Eleanor Burns and Quilt in a Day, and we were using templates. It was before we had rotary cutters even. And certainly, quilting by machine was not thought of very, it wasn't something you really did, right? We tied quilts. Many of my first quilts were tied. My mother, as we've reported before, she helped me do some hand quilting of some quilts, one of which I did a wedding ring, double wedding ring, and I wore that thing out, and it was all hand quilted, and it was in Christmas colors. It was really cool. I had to throw that away. But she's helped me hand quilt some. And then this whole notion of machine quilting, can't be poo-pooed. If you want to use your quilts, it's a great way to go. In fact, Violet, my niece out there, she and her grandmother, my aunt, are working on a quilt. And Violet reported to her grandmother, my aunt, that she should have the quilt machine quilted so it would last longer. She was right. Or she could hand quilt it, but that would take until she has other more important things to do. Like right now, she's actually on a school trip overseas, and I should know where, Spain or Italy. I don't know exactly where she is. She was at some castle yesterday. I tell you, the world gets smaller every day. Our kids are going literally with passports to other sides of the world. Elon Musk is meeting with, he was at the Pentagon yesterday, or day before, talking about SpaceX. So, and did you know there are already a group of people who have agreed to go up to try to get to Mars, knowing that they probably will never come back? I did not realize that. Speaking of far out things and aging and getting old, that's kind of connected. I wanted to share with you something that I read in, yes, the AARP Bulletin. I got this for Bob when he turned a certain age as a joke. I love this thing. I've been reading it for years. Okay, page 30 of this latest one. Sonia Lumbomirsky is a happiness expert. So this is an article about happiness. And I thought I would share a few little snippets because it was kind of interesting to me. I don't know about you, but I think it's important to work on being happy. I have to. I know I have to. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I just have to remind myself that I want to live a happy life. And so there were some good reminders in here, and I wanted to share them, if you can indulge me. So Sonia is a researcher and author. She teaches an online course called AARP's Life Reimagined. And she talked to one of the journalists here at AARP, and she was asked some questions. First off, happiness can mean lots of different things to different people. What do you think is the biggest misconception? Sonia says, the misconception is that it's all about pleasure and feeling good. Happiness is a lot more than that. It's about engagement and meaning and progressing toward your goals. Okay, so why is it so important? Sonia says, people who are happy accrue a lot of positive outcomes. They're healthier, more creative, and have better relationships. Happy people are not as self-centered as unhappy people. They're more generous and other-focused. Would getting rich make me happy? She says, well, it might if you're poor, but if you're already comfortable, it won't make you as happy as you think. Good to know. The question is, why not? She says, well, some research suggests that it's not having money that matters, it's how you spend it. If you're spending your money on helping others or on experiences like taking your friends out to dinner or learning new things, that can make you happy, she says. Does happiness have a correlation with age? Now, this was interesting. Sonia says people get happier as they get older. The least happy people are probably teenagers and people in their 20s. She says we get happier at midlife, but the peak is, depending on the study, around 65 or 70. That's interesting. The question is, why this arc? Why so late? She says, well, one Stanford researcher has a theory that older people are, in a sense, emotionally wiser. They know what makes them happy, which often means spending time with people who make them happy. Ah, this is good. In fact, she says, when you ask younger people who they'd have lunch with, if they could invite anyone, the younger person's more likely to choose a celebrity. The older people will say, my sister. KB, you want to have lunch? I love that. That's so true. And she goes on, and there are lots of different questions about stimulating flow. So this is interesting. You know how we hear a lot of talk about energy flow and how you can get in the moment when you're doing these craft things and kind of lose time? Let's see. So what's the real answer? He goes on, or the journalist goes on. Hugh is the journalist. He says, so what's the real answer? And she says, part of happiness is genetic, and part is determined by life circumstances. The rest is what we can do. The truth is your attitude and how you think about and behave can have a lot of influence on your level of happiness. It's amazing to me how many aren't aware of that. So we can impact this. Okay, so the researcher says, you talk about striking a balance between being in the present moment and making progress toward meaningful goals. Sonia goes on, she says, absolutely. Most people are either present-oriented or future-oriented. The ideal is a combination of present and future with a tiny bit of the past. I'm mostly future-oriented, she says, but I'm also pretty good at being in the flow, being so absorbed and engaged in something that time falls away. She says, I feel sorry for people who don't have any flow in their lives. And that's what we have here on FiberCast. We do it right. Tonight, probably I didn't have so much flow. I really didn't. I wasn't feeling the flow quite as well. But when I do, it's awesome. And I hope you have the same thing too. So anyway, I just want to share that. Enough of my reading to you. Okay. So this one, I'm going to call that done. I'll do this backing, and then we will put a label on it. See, things are never done. Okay, so there's that. What do we have here? Crochet time. I think I showed everyone this. This is completely done. I don't know if it was completely done last time I showed you. So it just needs to be shrunk up and blocked. The second one that I have to finish is a more usable one. It's going to be a daisy, and I ran out of this pink, so I need to back her out one row here. And then I even went to Joann's yesterday, and they didn't have any more of this pink, so I'm just going to do the last row in green. Or maybe red, because then I want to do the green. What am I going to do? No, I'm going to do it in green. Okay. I'll save that. I could use that again in my scrappiness here. As a reminder, I got most of these patterns off of the Vintage Crochet site. And I'm using Lydia's size 3 cotton, crochet cotton, that I get at Joann's. That, when it's not on sale, is $3.99. For not that much, really. Takes you a good, at least 1.5 to make one of these pot holders. And then they're not even very good pot holders at that. They have holes in them, which all of my mother's friends and my mother and her sister are quick to point out. They were laughing at me. So I think in return I'm going to have to make them all some pot holders. Okay, one chain. All right. So we'll just finish this out. I know it's been a hodgepodge type of FiberCast. Okay, one, then do single, and then I'm supposed to do 12 double crochets. Uh-oh, I have to count and talk. That's not going to be very good. 3, 5. This will sure, I should count, and that way we'll put the very last few of you who are not asleep yet to sleep. Hi, Deb, if you're out there. Oh, hi to everyone. So many of you, I can't even remember everyone's names now. Do you believe that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Beth, down in South Carolina. who lives by the lake and who's going to be doing a lot of swimming to stay cool this fall, or this weekend. I was curious to hear if you're going back to Missouri anytime soon. Do once, okay. You heard that Chris and Deb are going back in October, and I wondered if you were doing that same one. That would be a hoot. I still think about the package you gave us. You made for us the drawstring bags and the charm packs. It was so kind of you. Six. 8. I'll show this to you in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. Can you see that? So I'm literally putting the final scallop on that. And then we're going to put, and I have another one that's all done. And we're going to put them together. And then I'm going to crochet them together, and you make what ends up looking like kind of like a daisy. That one. It's called, I got it on rubyredelectricblogspot.com. Free pattern crochet flower pot stand. Okay, so let me keep going. Let's enjoy the music a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to hear the results of the voting for Doll Club when we go tomorrow. The officers of the club. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness. 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, and then 1 single crochet. Crocheting you can definitely get in the flow, I found. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I know what I meant to tell you, everyone. I sent off our quilt for the Vermont Quilt Show. The Plain and Fancy book about Vermont quilts. It was written 40 years ago by Dick Cleveland and Donna Blister. They're doing a 40th anniversary showing of many of those Vermont quilts, including the one that my grandmother had from my grandfather's relative. And it's from the 1800s, and we sent it off. I sent it off, insured it. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 9. So that'll be hanging at the end of the month up in Essex Junction. It's interesting with antique quilts and the valuation of them and the insurance. The curators for the Vermont Quilt Festival said they are insuring the quilt as soon as they receive it, all through the show, and then when they send it back. So, which is great. I have every confidence that nothing's going to happen to it at all. And when I went to the post office, the U.S. Post Office, to send the quilt off, I asked for insurance. And I gave her a value. It had been appraised in 1978 for $1,500, this quilt. So I thought, well, I'll insure it for $1,500. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, I don't know why I told her, but I said it's a quilt. And she immediately said, well, you know, you're not going to get reimbursed for that value, what you just put on your quilt. You're going to get reimbursed for the fabric that it would take to recreate the quilt. That was her comment. You know, I let her say it, and I said, very well, I still would like to insure it for $1,500. I have the appraisal paperwork, and I would certainly push it if something did happen. Do you think I'm wrong in that? I just thought that was a very expected comment. Who's that? Oh, Wendy, hi. Wendy says, hello, Lynn and everyone. Not watching live, we are all getting ready for my niece's wedding this afternoon, and it's a 2-hour drive away. Oh, how fun. I hope by the time you see this, you have had a nice wedding. She says, I will watch tonight when I get home. Looking forward to it. Oh, good. She says, have a great weekend. I'm spending the day tomorrow doing Dear Jane on my old faithful Bernina. Happy sewing from Wendy in a still very hot Australia, and it's supposed to be winter, she says. Oh, well, thank you for writing in, Wendy, and I love hearing about everything that's going on, the wedding proposals and the golf, and I'm so glad you're doing Dear Jane. And as I say, I hope the wedding was even more fun than you expected. Oftentimes they are. The hard part's getting to them sometimes. Hey! Cassandra, hi, how are you? She says, hi Lynn, happy Friday to everyone. I'm quilting this chevron baby quilt for my nephew's 3rd little boy. He's due by the end of the month. I need to make one for him. Love your flag, she says. Oh, and I love your chevron. Look at you. We have a theme going here. Oh, that's great. Thanks for writing in. Ooh, Marquet. Hi, Marquet. She says, oh, thank goodness. Glad to hear you've decided to take the Sloan Ashland in to be fixed. I think you'll be very happy with it, and great job on the quilt. Thank you. Thanks again for that tip. Well, can you believe that another FiberCast has come and gone? It really is amazing. Thank you for getting me through what was, frankly, kind of a rough machine quilting. And who's this? Just in the nick of time. Who's this? Hey, KB. I'm going to sign out. KB says, oh, this is beautiful. My sister is so building on the quilt theory that if my antique quilt from the 1850s, done by a relative of Admiral Dewey, gets lost, and they say you have to get, the only replacement will be the cost of paper. My sister writes, and she says, so, if my first edition David Copperfield book is insured, and it gets lost in the mail, what, I get enough money to buy a ream or two of paper? Good point. Exactly. Okay. Well, hopefully I haven't just jinxed it, and hopefully it has arrived there by now. If anyone's up in Essex, go look at that quilt show. It's at the end of June. And with that, we're done with another FiberCast. I really, truly thank everyone for joining me. I have a blast. I get things done, even on nights like tonight. I hope you did too. I hope that you get it. Find some flow in your day. Find some flow in your weekend. And do what you love to do. Of course, do the obligations too. That's part of life. And I'll see you here next Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone. Happy sewing.